Hey gang, old bit collector here. Thought I'd show the IR capability of the Micromite companion. Here's my board, and you can see that I've installed the IR sensor. Right next to the IR sensor is a jumper, and I've got a jumper on mine. This jumper, if you put this in, this allows you to switch between the feeding the signal line of the IR sensor to the Micromite or to the propeller. Now by default, this IR sensor, when it's installed, is jumpered to the Micromite. And if that's the way you intend to use it, you do not need to install the jumper or cut the trace on the bottom of the board. But if you'd like it to be switchable, you can cut the little loop trace underneath the jumper after installing a 3-pin header, and then you'll have the ability to jumper back and forth between giving the IR to the propeller or giving it to the Micromite. And I've got it set in the Micromite position right now. So what's also kind of neat is that the code for this is really simple. What you do is you can put the first line of the program, you just use the IR command, and you tell it the two variables, which are device and the key code. Those are the variables that'll be returned. And then the third item you put on that command is the IR init, which is kind of like a subroutine that it'll jump to when it detects that the IR sensor has received a code. The do loop that you see here is just my possible program that I could be running. So if you wanted to institute an IR control into a game or a program, it's really easy to do it because it doesn't jump out of your program until the IR sensor is triggered by a code. It'll give you back the data that you're looking for and then jump right back into your program. And so you see the IR init code here. Mine just says it's going to print something to the screen, IR detected. It'll give me the device information and then the key code information. So I've got one of these really cheap remote controls. I picked these up from the dollar store. As a matter of fact, I bought way too many of them. So if you need one, give me a shout on the forums. I've got a whole bag of these silly things. I don't even think my dollar store carries them anymore for some strange reason. I think I bought them all and then they just decided not to restock them after I left. But I'm using it set in the Sony code mode. This code in the Micromite is actually capable of reading like 3 or 4 different Sony code sets. What's really neat about this cheaper mode is that when you put batteries in, the Sony code is 000, and it just sort of defaults to the best possible code that you could use with your project. So kind of a neat remote to have. So I'm going to come up here and just kind of run my program. And there's my do loop. Yeah, the do loop with the REM statement that's doing absolutely nothing. Yep, oh, there it is, doing absolutely nothing until I push a button on the remote. And now I'm getting codes depending on which button I push. So really easy upgrade that you can put on your Micromite companion. Stick an IR sensor in your board. Check our forums. We'll have a link there to the proper sensor so that you can make sure you're getting the right one. They're not all the same. And then if you don't really care about jumping the sensor to the propeller, you do not have to add the 3-pin header and the jumper because it's already set perfectly to feed into the Micromite chip. So see you guys on the forums and check out the IR.